Welcome everybody, like a bad rash. We're back.
How you doing, Ash?
I am doing okay. I actually had a good, relatively couple of weeks. We're not going to be old men. We're not going to talk about our ailments, but
Our illnesses. That's
I
right.
actually have some cool geekgasms. I go
While
to
you're
get
getting that,
from
I'll
them.
apologize to everybody about last week. I was sick last week, and Cookie was sick. We both just got over it, so uh, I felt bad. Ash was all ready. He called us. I'll tear everything down, but that was me.
Oh, did I actually? Hold on. Let me see something here. Do I still have any of the things that I got ready for last week ready?
I
I might have some news. I don't know. Let
will
me.
say I went to go share this. I'm not seeing it on there, but it does say we're live, so I'm going to let it run live. I just won't share right now. I'll share later. But
Oh, okay. I had that article. Let's see. Everything with Comcast.
Well, I will say one thing. I will talk about Marvel's lineup tonight because that's something I was going to talk about last week. I will talk briefly about the Agatha finale. Um, but one thing that we're not going to talk about tonight is one thing that has distracted us from getting things done is the election.
Yeah,
So,
we're
yeah,
not talking about that.
we talked about that beforehand, and no sense in bringing that kind of stuff up in convention stuff. Although sometimes it gets relevant, but we'll be talking about that in a year from now on how the economy affects festivals and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, and here's the horrible thing. This okay, just on the side. All right.
Let's talk politics. No,
No, not politics or anything, but all right. So my company gives me stock shares, all the crap like that. So I have some stock. All right, and I go to check. I go to check online today, and all of the indexes, the S and the Nasdaq, S and K 500, or whatever the hell it is, all of those are up several percentage. But something happened with my company. I'm not sure what. And their shit went down $12 a share. And I'm just like, oh, well, there went a couple $1,000. Bye bye. All right, cool beans.
oh
Uh,
wow, $12 a share. Well, I don't know what your stuff was ranging at before, but
it was up to like 210 a share, two or something like that. And now it's down to like 197.
yeah,
You know, but anyway,
I've
yeah.
done
So
that
that
before.
was
I've
just
let
a bitch.
stock just ticker down, and you're like, that doesn't seem too bad, and then you do the math, and you're like, holy fuck, that was a college fund or
Well,
something.
no, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Things go up, things go down. I mean, if you hold on to it for the long run, that's where you make the money.
Yeah, I will say like the GE stock I had back when 9/11 hit still hasn't got to the numbers it was at 9/11.
GE,
GE, yeah, I got a ton of GE stock.
I'm not gonna look. I'm like, damn, I would have thought that would have rebounded like crazy by then. I mean,
It did.
the
It did. It came up a little bit. It came up, but it never got back to those numbers again.
to 9/11.
9/11. Yeah, yeah. It was rough for us, but
Okay, huh? So let's go max. Oh yeah, yeah, you're right, man.
well, don't. I hate you confirming it because I hadn't checked in a while. I was hoping you'd go, no, dude. Yeah, it looks great, but yeah,
Now
yeah,
you at your peak on that. What it was at 299 a share, and right now it's at 191,
yeah.
one eighty.
That's
Yeah,
$100 a share. That's God.
yeah,
You're making me do math in my head now. I'm like,
yeah,
shit.
that's painful.
That's all right. My kids have already been through college since then, so I just
Oh
got
yeah,
two more
good
to
point.
put through. I'm okay.
Um, but yeah. Other than that, let me see.
We can hit some geekgasms and then talk some news.
My geekgasm. All right. So my geekgasm. Before I messed up my knee, which I messed it up a couple weeks ago. People don't want to hear about it. It's old men talking about their pains. Anyways, in order to help spur me on to do weight loss, those virtual walking challenges that they have, ooh, walk the coast of Ireland around your house or whatever. And once you chalk up enough miles, you get a cool looking medal.
Oh, I didn't know they had these. I have
Oh,
one like
yeah.
that for drinking beer though. Like drink beer at a zoo, you get a badge. I get those.
Well, yeah, old Chicago had those. She made T-shirts from them. Anyway,
Oh, did they? Yeah, now this Untapped and shit's what I use. But yeah, go ahead.
But anyways, so at the beginning of October, they dropped a several medal set for Star Trek, of course,
Yeah.
because I'm a Trekkie, and so I signed up for them. And right before, right as I was at the end of the first medal, each of them is 100 miles, so you have to clock in 100 miles. And right as I was at the end of that first 100 miles is when I hurt my knee, so I limped across the finish line. But on what was it? Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I got my first medal in the mail, and
They send you real freaking medals. See, I get digital medals. That's so cool.
yeah, this is real freaking medal. And this one, the first one that they have, is super cool because this is the Starship and Space Dock, and you can open it up. All right, and then the Enterprise ship comes out, and it's got magnets on it. So it goes back in. And then on the back, this emblem here, you can take it off, and it's got the thing here, and this comes off as well and is also magnetic. And
is this a service? Do you pay to be part of this, or is this?
Of course you pay. Of course.
I figured I want to make sure, because like the one I was talking about, it's all digital, so you don't pay shit unless you want to buy your own stuff.
Yeah, no, you pay for this shit, of course. And but see, and that's one of the incentives too, because I paid for this, and damn it, I want my damn medal, so I better walk my miles. And so I got my 100 miles, and I was doing, before I bummed out my knee, I was doing a 5K every night at the gym, walking that, and yeah, so that was my geekgasm.
Anybody with any power overseas this, they need to do that for Ghostbuster stuff. I'd go do that. Shoot,
dude, they got, this one had it, does some Star Trek stuff. They also have Lord of the Rings ones. They have Star Wars ones. They have all kinds of stuff like that. Jessica did a different one. Because this one is the company is called The Conqueror Virtual Challenges. Jessica did a different one called like Pacer or something like that, and she did a Sleepy Hollow one.
Oh, cool! And
that one looks pretty cool. But that one was only like 20 miles, and she got her medal because they're all different lengths. There's one. God, what is the one? The longest one I've seen on the Conqueror one is one that you walk virtually the distance of the Appalachian Trail. So it's over 1,000 miles.
Yeah, but it's 1,000 miles at the altitude that you choose.
Yeah, exactly. Totally different altitude.
Yeah.
But and they do things, where like you can join, you can team together and all kinds of stuff like that. And if you team up with people doing the challenge, all of your steps count together, which is great. But they even address it in the FAQs, because I was reading through the FAQs. They're like, some people ask, isn't that cheating? And they said, we don't care. We're trying to foster camaraderie and stuff like that. So if you get your steps a little bit early because you're building friendships, build some freaking friendships.
Yeah. See, I like that. That's cool. And that encourages people to get out there and do stuff and be healthier, So there's not one link you can like post up and I can go check that shit out. I'll have to Google this.
Let me pull up the link for the Conqueror. Oh, Buddy says, hey guys.
Well, hey buddy. Sorry, I was going to get on and I guess I could still get on and chat because I can't share it for some reason, but I will get on and try to chat here. There we go. Chats. And I see a hey, but now it's not letting me chat. There we go. I can do it now. Hey, back at you. All right. Let's see. Because I'll have to send you some stuff too. I saw at Dollar Tree today they had things for terrariums and Star Trek socks, because I bought a bunch of Ghostbuster socks there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you sent me some Star Trek. You gave me some Star Trek socks.
No, there's like a set of 5.
Yeah.
Did I get you some of those? Okay, well then.
Well, you got me like a set of, it was like 3 or 5, but yeah, you gave me some nice dress socks.
Yeah, like shit, I bought them for you and forgot I even told you they existed.
All well, right. Oh no, I didn't get them. You should get them for me again.
No. All right, well then I'll just delete the picture I took for you, but I'll send you the terrarium stuff.
But there's the Conqueror link. I sent it in the chat. You can see
Okay.
it there.
I will check that out here today. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Um, let's see. Oh, Geekasm. So mine isn't going to be as good as yours, and it's going to be a 3D print again. But I got to finish up 2 3D prints this week. Even though I was sick, it's what I got to do because I was just laying bedridden for a bit.
Yeah.
But one I've been wanting to do for a while. I had printing while we were performing at the Kansas City Ren Fair. I don't have it quite finished yet, so it's wobbly. But
Hi,
it is
Amber.
the,
Yeah, get those.
it is the full helmet
Wow.
for the Tail Suspense Iron Man, the Mark One, and
That is cool.
it's cool. I like it. I got a special spot for it upstairs where I got some Iron Man pages.
I thought you were going to say you had a special spot in your heart.
And then the other one I did, and this one is only geeky to me and our house here, but I made a giant Lego Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
That is so cool.
And to go with my, so it's a little more size appropriate, but I printed everything separately so it all still moves, and I can print stuff to put in his hand and make poses with him. So
now you need to make a second one where he's getting toasty.
I know they don't have one, but I was like, I could easily manipulate it to.
Yeah, you can just sit there with a torch on it or something, or something.
The sad thing is that's a lot more pieces than you think. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh yeah,
11,
each of those
12,
colors.
13, 14.
Yeah, each of those colors was a different one, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but I had to paint mine because not all of us have a machine that does multicolors yet. But
Well, yeah. I mean, and my machine that does multicolors is multi-down right now, so I'm trying to do my HueForge print on the old school workhorse Creality. Say what you want about them, they're workhorses.
Yeah. Well, I love the Crealities I got. I've told just about everybody that thinks about getting into it because they ask me stuff and I'm like, oh, I'm not an expert. I just got 2 this year and I'm printing a lot. But those Creality ones are the way to go, man. For somebody starting out, I'm so glad you recommended this.
You can get them like right now. I think you can get those. I saw them. They're going for like $170.
Oh shit, that's what I paid on Prime Day for mine.
So, yeah, I think I saw they're going for $170.
Yeah. And then what I do too for filament, if you look instead of getting the same filament every time, I'll just look to see what's on sale and I can get it for about $10, $12 a roll then.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're going to paint them anyway.
Yeah, I'm painting everything right now. So
yeah, see, I've been doing that HueForge stuff to the point that like right here, I've been, in order to get the correct TD values, transmission distance values on them, I've been making these special cards where I figure out exactly how many layers it takes before they're no longer transmitting the underneath color. And that way we can fit it. You program that into the program and it helps you with the painting of the filament.
That is cool. I wonder if because I'm trying to design some of my own stuff. I wonder if they have something like that. They can show how translucent something can be. Because like that piece I showed you earlier, the square piece. Supposedly there's a way you can print this to where it's translucent. Because the rest of the box I printed for it has it where you put a light inside of it. And it shines through. But this one I had to print thick enough that I don't think it's going to shine through.
You would be surprised. The white ones, you'd be surprised at how many layers it takes because what was it? Where's the white on black one? I did a white on black one and where are you at? Right here. And that one, it took all the way to the 12th layer at 0.8 millimeters per layer. It took all the way to the 12th layer before I stopped seeing bleed through.
Okay.
So that would have been, let me see, it was 1.92 millimeters before it stopped bleed through.
Well, I guess I'll know with this one when I put it together. I'm going to go ahead and run a light in it anyway and see what I get.
Yeah, it was like,
pop it out.
Yeah, it was like 0.5 millimeter. So that would have been like, 3 or 4 layers before you stop getting bleed through on light.
But he had put, what did you think about the picture he sent of Gideon with the Ghostbuster hoodie on? I did see that. Sorry I didn't respond. I've been down so much. That very adorable. When we went out trick-or-treating on Halloween, that was one of the things, because when I go to con, one thing I do every time I see somebody in a Ghostbuster outfit or even Ren Fair, I go up and get a picture with them to post like in the Ghostbuster group or something. And Halloween, I had to fight that urge. I kept going, oh, check out that kid with the Ghostbuster outfit. And you can't just go up to a kid and go click, or can I get a picture? Because it's creepy as hell. So
no, you
yeah.
can't. Especially not that we now that we have more gray than any other color in
Oh
the beard.
yeah. And you can't just go, it's okay, I got a little girl, because then that just sounds even worse.
Yeah, because people want to know, okay, what candy did you use to lure the little girl?
Yeah, and whose little girl is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we had a good time with Halloween this week. We almost came down to your neighborhood to hit that spot out east from you.
The Halloween Street area?
Yeah. But they ended up having one here in Newton that was pretty good, pretty crowded, couple thousand kids. And Christina went as Wednesday Adams, and
I know that was some really good photos of her.
The thing I 3D printed. I'll post up a picture later, but
yeah, it looked good.
Thing, and I did it at 5% infill, so it would be nice and light, and it would just sit on her shoulder with a little Velcro, and people really dug it.
Yeah.
So
it looked good. I mean, she was looking really good in that outfit.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, she rocked it.
So let's get on to some news and talking about some BS, because we will for sure go over, even though I don't have as much this week.
So, I mean, the thing is, most of my stuff is, I mean, the only like news article that I had last week that I didn't even put anything good together. Let me see. Apparently Dungeons and Dragons are getting new Funko Pops.
Didn't know that, but okay.
Yeah, and I'm not a Funko Pop guy, but the different Funko Pops they have is, do you remember the old Dragonlance series?
Yep.
Drizzt and his cat.
Okay.
All right, so it's got that one. It's got let's see, there's Drizzt and Guignenoir, whatever the hell the cat's name was. Oh. There's the Lady of Pain. There's Icing Death. So like a dragon. But the one that I think is the most interesting is the Gelatinous Cube.
Oh, Gelatinous Cube has gotten super popular. It's become like Eye of the Beholder, man. It's been enough movies and pop culture stuff now that it feels like it's everywhere.
Yeah, the Gelatinous Cube is like half eaten a dragon. So there's the dragon behind it, and then the face of the dragon inside of it is all just the skull. So it's a cool way that they've done the Gelatinous Cube.
I guarantee once those come out, my therapist I go to, because I go to a geek therapist, like literally that's what it is. It's a geek therapist, but it is lined with just hundreds and hundreds of Funko Pops everywhere.
Yeah, see, there it is.
Oh, that is cool. So it's already down to the bone.
Yeah.
I guess we've been showing a lot of stuff. So for people listening to the audio version, he's showing pretty much a purple cube with a dragon half eaten up inside of it, as described. It's cool.
And then there's the Drizzt and his cat one, for those who know their Dragonlance. The Lady of Pain, which I don't know where she's from. And Icing Death, this dragon. So those are the Funko Pops that are coming out. I'm not a Funko Pop guy. I truly think that they are, what is it? I think that they're precious moments for geeks.
Yeah, they're Beanie Babies for geeks.
Yeah, Beanie Babies for geeks. They're Beanie Babies for geeks. So I'm not really into them.
I'll put it this way. I got out of Dragonlance because, well, I got tired of when everybody was getting into it. You couldn't go through any of the modules because everybody knew all the modules from reading all the books already anyway, and blah, blah, blah. But so when you're saying, I thought it was Drizzt Airwarden, isn't it? Or is it Drizzt?
I always called him Drizzt, but Drizzt or whatever.
Maybe. I was just wondering if I was wrong. It's been long enough now.
And it could be. I don't know. All I know is that all the I mean, it's because of that character, which was a well-written character. Don't get me wrong. All right.
Made everybody else on Earth play a drow, you know.
Yeah, everybody wanted to play a drow, and it completely romanticized the drow, who were just supposed to be straight up evil. All right. And he was supposed to be
for elves at the time, so it didn't help.
Yeah. So it was and then all of a sudden the huge spin-off book line that was all just about Drizzt and the drow and all this stuff like that. And I'm just like, really? And they completely hosed over my boy the Barbarian. They completely fucked him over.
I don't remember. I don't recall. I
Oh
remember
yeah,
Bumblebee.
they broke him. They broke him like a freaking just like a branch, and just turned him into, basically just a shell of what he was before. It was pretty awful what they did to him.
Didn't they kind of do that with Rosalind too? I thought like they just bitched him out.
Hold on, different.
Yeah, I know, but it's D&D.
Oh yeah, okay. So Rosalind, the one with the hourglass eyes, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we shouldn't be talking about it if we can't remember half the characters.
So there's two different ones. I think that was two different ones because you had no. Okay, yeah. So you had Dragonlance. All
Yeah,
right,
Forgotten Realms.
all right, and the one with Drizzt was Forgotten Realms.
Was it Forgotten Realms?
Yeah,
Shit.
two different book series.
This is one of those things where it's like you learn so much useless knowledge if you don't use it.
Yeah,
And it's my son now is in this spot where like he is learning so much about Warhammer and D&D, but
yeah.
Warhammer
Oh
continuously.
yeah. It's
And
it's it's a huge mythos to dive into with Warhammer.
right. And so he'll start coming up to me and he'll be talking about the Horus Heresy or something like that. And then he'll turn and ask me a question. I'll go like, I don't, I can spout out a bunch of shit. And it's like, I don't even know who that character is. And then realize that just come about in the last 5 years or something, but it
Oh
is
yeah.
canon and it is, but when you walk away from it for a while, they retcon so much stuff.
They
And
gotta.
Warhammer is so big right now.
They have to do that to keep selling new things.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, and, yeah, talking to him about squats, for example, because they've totally retconned everything with squats. And that was my army. So
Hmm.
I get corrected a lot by my son who's just getting into Warhammer now, which
Well,
which is fine because then I get to learn.
I mean,
But
even if you look back, I mean, this old men bitching. If you look
oh yeah,
back at D&D 2E, I mean, one of
right.
the things is if you wanted to play a barbarian, you had to hate magic. All right, that was one of their deals. They absolutely hated magic, and if you were to play it correctly, you had to go out of your way to destroy magic every chance you got.
Berto says more of a Warhammer fantasy fan. Happy the old world is a thing again. I started with 40K and I ended up becoming a bigger Warhammer fantasy fan because 40K got rid of squats almost immediately, and that was my army, and it pissed me off. And I used
Yeah,
pirates because I played the old Rogue Trader, which allowed you to do a pirate army, and they got rid of both of those by second edition. And then Blood Bowl, even though it started out as 40K, kind of went towards
yeah.
old fantasy war. So fantasy was my thing, and then they came out with the fantasy role play game. So I go hard into the fantasy side of it, and I 40K I loved, and the guys around me, my brother, Keto, all those guys, they really got big into 40Ks. So I still kept playing. Um,
One of the things that turned me
Leagues of
off from D and
Botan.
D
I don't
finally.
know Leagues of Botan, Berto. I don't think I do.
Uh,
So let me
I was
know
gonna say,
though.
one of the things that turned me off of D&D was when they came out with that whole realm of Dark Sun.
I remember Realm of Dark Sun. I remember the looking at the emblem real
Yeah,
well too.
it
But
was.
I don't remember much about it. So
From what I recall about it is, imagine if D&D and Mad Max had a love child. All right, so none of the technology, but just that whole post-apocalyptic D. It's basically D&D post-apocalyptic, but the whole thing was the reason it was called Dark Sun is because it was a
oh,
world where it was at the end, if I remember correctly, where it was at that last push where the sun, as if you remember your astronomy, as the sun gets old and starts to die, it starts to swell. All right, and the sun will swell, and eventually our sun, when it gets old, will eventually swell out enough that it will swallow the Earth. But in that meantime, as it starts to swell, the Earth will get hotter and all the stuff
you
like
mean
that and
eat
get
it
shut
like a
down.
cracker because it's flat, right?
Well,
So
yeah, eventually, once the turtle dies.
yeah,
Anyway,
once that, that's okay.
but anyway, so and that was the thing in this D&D world is it was an old world where all the resources were used up. All right, and everything is old. All the resources are used up, and the sun is starting to swell and lose its energy, so it's getting bigger, and that's the reason it's a dark sun. Is and everything is just basically it's the end times, stretched out long, because this is the end of this world as the sun, is getting bigger and bigger, and it's never going to get better, because every year it's going to get gradually worse.
See, I don't recall any of that, but I want to say that came out in the late '90s, if I remember
I
right.
think so. It was
About the
late
time
80s, I think. 91.
91. Okay, so it was about time I was graduating high school, but about the time I discovered Mask of the Red Death, which is an expansion of D&D, and I kind of got into that for a while. But then I was so into Warhammer and Palladium at that time. That's mostly what I played, you know. So so what the Botan was that Berto had mentioned, that's what they call the squats now in 40K. And they're not actually, well, they're humans pretty much, it sounds like. But I refuse to call them that. They're still squats to me now. And I'm still going to use my old squat miniatures, and I don't care what anybody fucking says, because I'm only playing with the people I know. So screw Citadel, screw Games Workshop. I got some bitterness
you
there.
need to start a Warhammer 40K Classic League.
We tried that with Blood Bowl for a while, and we did. We had a good time with it, and I always said, but the benefit of Blood Bowl is they never re-released it like they did everything else until, what was it, last year? Beginning of last year, I think we finally did, which caused a bunch of more interest, which is great, but it's all people wanting to play the new edition. I'm like, I got, grand or two worth of shit here. I want to use. I want to buy new teams. I've got custom built stuff. And if I'm only playing with people I know who have the same shit, I'm going to play the same old game we used to play,
Yeah,
Again,
but you got to watch it, because then you start falling into that old man realm.
I get it, but Games Workshop was real bad about, blatantly bad about, we got to re-release stuff just to make money off of it. So a great example, I can't remember what edition it was, when they released the new Elves book, and this is right after you buy everything from the edition before, and you get caught up on, because there's multiple armies, tons of books to buy. You buy it all. You buy new miniatures, because line of sight and everything is such an issue that you got to buy new miniatures. Your old miniatures won't work, and this is when they were doing, like, to compete and win trophies, you had to paint with Citadel paints. Yeah.
Why? Okay, paint thing is stupid.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't the miniature? Do they make them different height or something? Why would the line of sight work?
Different sizes. Yep. So like Slaanesh demons went from about that tall to about that tall, for example. They went like a full centimeter taller. But so then they release like the Elf book, then they do all the other books. I think it was about 12 books in all. And then they decide, by the time they release all these books, which took a year because they were doing one every month, they decide, well, we already need to re-release the Elf book. So remember that Elf book you just bought 12 months ago? All those rules are no good anymore. You got to buy the new ones that we've just written in the last year. And so by the time you get the last book and go, okay, finally I have all this shit that we can have all the armies together and fight. Oh no, there's still more to buy. And some of that shit you already bought shit. And it was nothing but trying to make money. And that's about the point I was like, I got to push.
That's one of my problems with a lot of companies, is that instead of having the huevos, having the balls to go ahead and just go, all right, let's come out with something new, not necessarily different world. All right, let's just say, all right, now we got this continent over here that's filled with, homicidal pandas, whatever, and, just whatever it takes, just so you can still play the old ones, but you have some new ones that you can bring in. And that's like one of my issues with Star Wars. It's a whole freaking galaxy.
Right. Yeah, stop putting
Get some new crap. Not everything's got to happen on Dantooine.
Well, one of the things that did bring me back around to Games Workshop was they did just that. They released like Necromunda and that stuff, and they didn't fuck with Blood Bowl, which everybody knew they were gonna, and they didn't. So it's like, give them kudos. And they did bring out new stuff, but man, they abandoned so much of it. Man of War they just abandoned and stuff, and it pissed me off. Let me read this. Berto says most of it's rights issues. Games Workshop was really bad about licensing when they started. That's why there's only 4 Chaos Gods now. Well, there's only ever been 4 Chaos armies, right? As far as I know, there's always been Khorne, Slaanesh, Tzinkt, and Nurgle, and that's all we had for, I thought, as far as the armies you could play, which of course back in the day was just Chaos, and now it's the separate armies. But I could be very wrong there, I guess. But yeah,
Well,
I could
keep talking to him about that. I got to swap filament.
Okay, while you're swapping filament, I will say that the socks I mentioned earlier too, for anybody interested, Dollar Tree also has Dungeons and Dragons and gaming socks there too, because we picked up some of those today, along with Muppet socks and Scooby Doo socks. So I'm gonna be wearing a lot of cool shit that nobody else can see. But while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and hit a little Marvel talk. I know I'd gotten some complaints from people because we hadn't been talking as much about Marvel and comics as we normally do, because I stayed away from it for a while because it was getting very negative. I will say I've watched Disney listen to the fans, and they've started doing good. They brought stuff back. Like we were talking before of only releasing Agatha and Deadpool this year, given a little distance between the crap they were throwing at us and the mess that they had made for the future with Doomsday and stuff. I think they're doing things right now. Let's hope that they keep doing it. But I'm going to go over the list because Disney released about a week and a half ago the 2025 lineup for Phase 5, and also the new lineup for Star Wars, which Cookie has that, and he is not here today. Bertos is my friend. You know nothing about Warhammer. Laugh my ass off. Read up on the Chaos God Malice, the god of hating other gods. I'll have to check that out. Now a lot of the stuff I'm talking about Warhammer, which that may be old school, was from like the 80s to 2000. That's when I was playing a ton. I eased up a little bit around 2000, 2005 ish, and then I just haven't really given a shit since. So a lot of the stuff I have is like a lot of old Rogue Trader shit, and a lot of it I will say I've let go out of my mental memory because fuck it, they're going to change it. They're going to change it in less than 5 years, guaranteed. So that it's made me bitter enough. So let's go over these. I'm gonna have to read some of these, but and hey Ash, can you hear me in case you need to comment?
I can basically hear you. What?
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. I'm just going over this Marvel list. I'm even going to do it in order to make sure what's going on. So we know that there's nothing else as of the Agatha finale last Wednesday, which
I hear they're shutting that down.
Yeah. Agatha was meant to be just one season, just like Vision and Scarlet Witch, the Scarlet Witch series they did, and the new Vision Quest series they're going to do. Those were all meant to be one season. So really the way to look at it was you had the first one, Agatha's season 2, and Vision Quest will be season 3 of the same series is the best way to look at it.
You know what? That actually makes me happy to know that they have a plan and they're just not going to beat the dead horse until it stops coughing up money.
Right. Yeah. And they've announced a couple other things which I'll kind of hit as I'm talking about it, because one of the things I've been bitching about was Wonder Man, and I'm now excited for Wonder Man. So 2025
Wonder Man, the sole gay guy on Sappho's, what?
Well, no,
on Lesbos, excuse me.
From Avengers and shit. He was actually in the Marvel Cinematic Universe before, played by Nathan Fillion, and they deleted him out. That was perfect casting too. Perfect fucking casting.
No, he was perfect as Captain Hammer, and I still think they should have done more. They should have had a second Dr. Horrible. You know what?
If you would have taken Captain Hammer and just put a Wonder Man outfit on him, damn near would have worked for at least the 90s run of Wonder Man for sure. But so, like I said, they released 2 things this year pretty much. And in 2025, they're going to they're just going to money shot us right in the face. We're going to start with what was Friendly Neighborhood. No, it's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man now. They've been promoting it as freshman year. It's the animated series, but it's and not Andrew Garfield. Damn it! It's why is my mind going blank? The guy playing Spider-Man now,
Tom?
Tom Holland. It's him. It's his character, so it's all canon, even though it's animated. Kind of like the What If series, it will all
Yeah.
be canon for this.
Is he doing the voice?
The way I understand it, he's doing the voice. I know the actor for Kingpin's doing his voice. Matter of fact, almost every
Vincent
actor,
D'Onofrio?
yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio is doing the voice work for Kingpin.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Daredevil?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
I
excited about
haven't.
that. It looks. We will watch it next week then.
Okay.
I've seen trailers for a number of these things actually, but not all of them are good trailers. Like the Fantastic Four trailer, you know. So Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, freshman year is the first thing that'll be coming out next year.
Okay.
And then we got Captain America: Brave New World. That's going to have Red Hulk and everything in it. That's coming out Valentine's Day, and that'll be a theatrical release. Then we got Daredevil: Born Again, which is coming out March 14th, and that's going to start off pretty much bringing back the entire Netflix cinematic universe. So we're getting all the same actors, all the same
Really?
characters with minor tweaks. Yeah, same actors for everybody, including Iron Fist, who
I never had a problem with the actor. I had a problem with the direction on that.
and that's what they're fixing. Because even that actor has said, I wouldn't give him a good chance. Because that first season they put him in, and he only had like 2 weeks to learn most of the choreography for all those martial arts things.
Well, it didn't matter on that. It to me it was just a poor man's Arrow.
Yeah, yeah. It was another rich
It was another
billionaire.
Batman.
Yeah, another Batman. Another. They took away all his humor, all his childlike
They
wonder.
made him a whiny bitch.
Yeah, spoiled rich kid. I didn't
Yep.
like it.
I could at no point could I, and that's the thing. That's the reason the Keanu Reeves in the parts that he takes now is so good, is because he plays them with such a deadpanness that you can insert yourself into that character, and that's what makes the characters that he plays now, the Keanu, the Matrix and the Wicks and stuff like that. If you notice, he plays that a very in such a way, we can all sit there and go, wow, Sean Connery was great, but no one's Sean Connery but Sean Connery. But the way that Keanu plays those the roles that he plays now, you can emotionally insert yourself in.
Now, I will say I'll get back on this Marvel thing, but Keanu's doing Constantine Part 2 from the comic books.
I loved Constantine. The only thing I didn't like about Constantine, even though I loved her in The Mummy, I loved Rachel Weisz. She really did not need to do an American accent.
Well, and people bitch about Shia LaBeouf being in that too, but I thought he did great in it. I really did.
In Constantine?
Yeah, he's his sidekick. Pretty much becomes an angel at the end of the
whole thing. Yeah, I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, I did like Constantine, and the dude that plays the devil, that Russian dude or whatever that plays the devil in that.
Oh yeah,
good. So
yeah.
Good. But
he's my favorite devil.
Constantine. I don't know. Didn't Tom Waits play devil?
I'd still put even though Tom Waits played the devil, I still like the devil in Constantine better.
I don't know. I'll go with Tim Curry, but yeah, he was real good in it. But the thing with Keanu Reeves playing Constantine is he lost all the smarminess that Constantine has. That they did good in the TV show version, but Constantine's a smarmy, cocky guy that sometimes lets his mouth rule shit. And they totally lost all that, I think, in the movie. I hope they bring it in the second one. But it sounds like Keanu's got a lot of input on this. So,
hopefully.
And he's a big fan. So Daredevil Born Again will be March 14th, which we're going to see a ton of characters coming back in that. They did say that they went ahead and pulled She-Hulk out, and it looks like we're not getting any more She-Hulk at all, which sucks because I actually liked She-Hulk. I know the rest of the Marvel world hated it, but I did. Thunderbolts May 2nd, which is going to set up, it's pretty much going to be the first movie in the Dark Avengers series, which I'm sure we're getting. Fantastic Four coming out July 25th, which is the weekend before Comic-Con, the same weekend they released Deadpool this year. So that's going to be
Yeah.
the flagship movie of the year. They announced a brand new movie called Eyes of Wakanda, which will be Black Panther 3. That'll be in August. And supposedly that is where we're going to get our introduction for uh, the new Iron Fist storyline. We're not going to get Iron Fist from the TV show. We're going to get one of the
Uh-huh.
old Iron Fists with one of the old Black Panthers. Um, they went ahead and
Um,
oh, go ahead.
are they going to? I know a lot of people were pushing for the sister to be the new Black Panther.
Which they did in the second one, but it was supposed to be temporary. And then they introduced his son in that at the end, who a lot of people say he'll be the next one, but I think he will be a Black Panther. But I think they're going to do it for the Young Avengers that they're going to do. Um, and then I think with the Eyes of Wakanda, what they're going to do, because Black Panther has been a mantle handed down over 1,000 years. So I think with Eyes of Wakanda, what we're going to see is a lot of the prequel kind of stuff of previous Black Panthers and how that ties in with them, I guess, maybe giving the power to the new Black Panther. Uh, but I think what we're going to see, because we are seeing an old Iron Fist from a couple hundred years ago. So I think that's what we're going to see is we're going to see a lot of iterations of old Black Panthers, so that it's not like Black Panther was just a guy, but it's like the Lone Ranger mantle with Green Hornet and all that. It's like a mantle that's handed down over the
You mean
years.
like Buffy?
Yeah, like Buffy. Only there's not a bunch of Slayers at once. Isn't that what they ended up doing with that?
Well, that was at the very end, but
Was it?
up until they did that, and I think it was the final season. My Jessica would know it by heart. I think in the final season they did the whole slew of Slayers, but before then there had only been one Slayer at a time, stretching all the way back to time immemorial,
Yeah.
time unknown, way back, more than 7 years.
Yeah. So I think that's what we're getting with the new Black Panther movie, The Eyes of Wakanda. Then of course Ironheart, the series that they shelved, that we didn't know we were ever going to get. It's been done for fucking year or so now.
What's
Uh,
Ironheart?
it is, if you watch the second Black Panther movie, have you seen that one?
No.
Okay. So
I,
Ironheart is
by the time they came out with that, I had achieved peak Marvel burnout
no, I get
and
you.
and stopped watching.
Ironheart is going to be the Iron Man answer for the Young Avengers. It's a young girl, Roy Williams, that creates her own Iron Man outfit. Um, no help from Tony Stark in versions. And there was a lot of controversy in the comics at first when she came out, but she's a young girl, black girl, so they're hitting all the DEI things, which is fine in this case. I'm not complaining about it or anything. So it's something they're really wanting to push. They just didn't do a great job with her in Black Panther, and people just lost interest right away. So they had already been filming the Ironheart series, got it completely done, and then they lost King the Conqueror. They lost a whole bunch of stuff, and they said, "Oh, people are going to rebel if we put this piece of shit out." Not it was a piece of shit at the time because it was getting bad ratings and everything, just like the new Captain America movie. So they shelved it and said it may never come out. Supposedly they did a bunch of reshoots, and now that people are Marvel happy again with Daredevil, they're releasing it.
It's kind of sad that the DEI stuff is being put on the same shelf as the Song of the South stuff. All right.
Well, they re-released Song of the South after some edits too, though.
I know. What I'm saying is they could swing too far on both cases. I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
So that's coming out. We're getting characters coming back from other stuff, and supposedly that's where we'll finally see Mephisto. Is the rumor? I'm hoping, because they
All
did
right.
let us know that Mephisto exists in the Agatha show that just came out.
Okay.
Then we're getting after. So what if season 3 is getting made? They haven't set up a release date yet, I don't think, but that's going to be the last season of What If. They're going to cut it and say no more. Instead, they're going to replace it with an animated series of Marvel Zombies in October. And that's going to come out just like Agatha did, to where the last episode will be the week of Halloween. but so it'll be like a 7-episode deal. But the best part of that is it's going to be rated R, and we can thank Ryan Reynolds for that. So Ryan Reynolds convinced them that rated R is okay.
Here's my only worry. It's not a problem. It's worry. It's is that so much now is being placed on the shoulders of Ryan Reynolds that you can't hit it out of the park every time. All right, and there's going to be coming, here soon is going to be his next Green Lantern. All right. And I fear that when that happens, regardless of all the good that's happened up until then, they will take a look at that Green Lantern 2. All right, that huge bomb that's coming down the pipe. It's just the way odds go. Not every Stanley Kubrick movie hit. Not every Scorsese movie hits. All right, not every Ryan Reynolds movie is going to hit. And that when that next bomb comes down, they're going to point at it and say, no, you were wrong. Forget about all this other crap. Let's dial it all back to the way it was.
I could see something going wrong there. I could still see him, though, being a creative force behind things. Behind the scenes. But I don't think he'll ever get canceled unless he does something real bad. But I do know that during Deadpool, a lot of people were coming after him, that movie that his wife had made.
I've heard scuttlebutt. I don't know much about it.
What Lies Within or something like that.
Yeah.
They did. There was a number of issues with it, but some of the rewrites that got done, Ryan Reynolds made and rewrote some scenes in it and stuff. So not only were people coming after her, but once they found out he rewrote some of that stuff, they started coming after him. But then luckily that Deadpool momentum hit, and it feels like all that just got washed over. So, I watched it because I was worried. I was like, oh, come on, don't cancel him. We only got so many Ryan Reynolds and Henry Cavill's out there that give a shit.
I know. And to tell you the truth, I've been a fan of his ever since Van Wilder.
Yeah, no, I've
a movie that can never be made again.
No, well, not made without being criticized or make any money. But yeah, because National Lampoons does try to still make shit like that sometimes. But it's all that directly to streaming stuff.
Yeah, used to be direct to video.
So a couple more. After Halloween, then we got Wonder Man will be coming out. It has been finished for a long time too, and it's one that the fans kind of rebelled on. Various things of the change of everything. So they shelved it, did some reshoots, and they turned it more into a comedy, which it should have been, and that's great.
Good.
And it sounds like the actor Yahya, I can't remember his name, the guy that played Black Manta in Aquaman. He is going to be Wonder Man, of course, and he's on board with it. He is totally on the comedy side of it. They're bringing back Trevor Slattery from the Iron Man movies, and the actor that played the Mandarin. I don't know if you saw that in the third movie.
Oh, the Mandarin, yeah.
Yeah. So they're bringing him back.
Ben Kingsley?
Huh?
Ben Kingsley?
Ben Kingsley, yeah. They're bringing him back. Trevor Slattery is his name in the series.
Okay.
And so he's going to be kind of like Wonder Man's tag-along sidekick in it. And they're going to make it kind of like a buddy comedy thing. So I'm a lot more on board with that.
And see, that was one of the things that they forgot, that originally set the Marvel movies apart from all the DC offerings and all the stuff like that, is that there was lightheartedness originally in the Marvel movies.
Yeah, because you saw when DC tried to add some of that when they brought in Joss to do Justice League, which I liked his touches on it. But
what was the one that had? It's the series. I forget the name of it, but it's the one with Brendan Fraser.
Oh yeah, but that's not part of the canon movie DCEU. That is. Why'd you do that? It's.
I thought that was part of DC.
Well, it's the DC television universe, not the movie universe. So, Doom Patrol. Dang it! I don't know why my mind did that.
Okay. Well, I also liked when they did it with John Cena.
Oh God, that's so good. Now that is a streaming series that is part of the DCEU, and that's one of the few characters that they're keeping for the new DCEU with all the new recasting. I
Yeah.
don't know how they're doing that yet, but they're keeping about 5 or 6 characters, and John Cena's one of them, and I'm so glad they did.
Yeah.
So the new Wonder Man series, the bad part about the rewrites and stuff, it means because of that and some of the rewrites they had to do on other stuff, we are no longer getting a West Coast Avengers series. And that makes me very sad. Because I was
Since I've never even heard of it, I think it's okay.
Yeah, no, I was sad because that.
But
that
then
was a
again,
good-
until it came out in movie form, I had never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy.
fair enough. Until it came out in movie form, Guardians of the Galaxy kind of sucked, and I will stand by that statement. So anybody wants to bring that one on, I'll talk with them about it. So no West Coast, and that's everything for 2025 then.
Sweet.
So the only thing even worth mentioning in 2026 right now is that they are bringing back the X-Men 97 series in 2026, but we're not getting it. We're going to have to wait like a year and a half now for this damn thing.
Okay. But all right, so yeah, that is a lot. I think the technical industry term, that is a bukkake of Marvel. All right.
And I think some of these things like Wonder Man and Ironheart that they already had finished, they were planning on releasing this year and said they've dug themselves such a hole. They had to kind of distance themselves from the drama and dig themselves out of that hole before they could release it. So I think some of those extra things we're getting are because they held stuff off.
Really?
So, and I'd go through all the Star Wars stuff, but like I said, Cookie has that because they released all the oh hey buddy. They released all the for those listening on the audio version of this later.
Yeah.
Kira,
my bloodhound decided she wanted to be in frame.
But yeah, we're gonna get I think that's why we're getting so much on top of
Good
that.
girl. Go on. Get.
Yeah, I'm sure
done giving you love. Get out of here.
In 26 is where we're going to see those movies like bringing The Rock and some of those other bigger names in. But
I'm sorry. I like The Rock. I do. But he's starting to age up there. There's only so long that testosterone replacement therapy and steroids will get you.
I really love The Rock as an actor, and I hope that, like, as much as I praise Henry Cavill and stuff now, that it doesn't go that route. But The Rock started losing me with all the Hawaii shit, and Black Adam. A lot of the behind the scenes attitude he had with all that, it just, I don't know. I honestly think that The Rock is a big part of what killed the DCEU.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know he's a good voiceover actor. Maybe he should stick to that.
What the only voiceover I know he did was some song or something, some rap song.
Well, no, he did all of Moana. He was the.
That's right. That's right, Moana. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. I was trying to think what voiceover work had he done, but
I think he's done more voiceover than that.
Oh, I'm sure he has. I just am unaware of it. Speaking of voiceover work, and boy, we've had talks about, do we promote conventions that are trying to come in and run other conventions out of business and stuff? And
oh yeah,
I hate bringing too much up, but the new Kansas Comic-Con coming in just announced 4 new guests. They're bringing in more guests than this population base can afford right now, but they might prove us wrong. They just brought in the entire audio cast of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, of the animated. So Rob Paulson would be there, and Rob alone is a good get. I mean, that would be an amazing get for this area. But you add all the rest of the Turtles cast on there. Like, I'll buy a ticket and I'm going to go spend some money on autographs for sure. So that's.
I was thinking of something the other day. I was playing through Borderlands 2 again. All right, did you ever play much Borderlands 2?
I did not.
There was a whole side mission in there that was their version of you having to take out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Really? I knew that they did a lot of like placeholder kind of characters. Like, it's not actually so-and-so, but it represents so-and-so. Is that what this was?
Yeah, it was basically you had to go take out these 4 guys. All right. But, they were in a sewer. All right. And, each of them fought with different method, basic kind of thing. And the way you lured them into the trap is you delivered pizza for them. All right. And then when you were going through, after you offed them and you were going through where they stayed at, everything was just like a callback to like, oh yeah, this would have been how the Ninja Turtles lived in their bunk room in the sewer and stuff like that. It was just a whole call out to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles inside Borderlands 2.
See, I got to get into Borderlands. I played some, and
they're coming out with Borderlands 4 next year.
I thought Borderlands 4 is already out. See, that's how little I know of it.
No, it's not out.
And loved it, and then Gabe will talk to me about it, and he'll keep forgetting that I have not played it. So I don't.
Borderlands 4 is not out. It's coming out next year.
Well, see.
Yeah, Borderlands 3 came out. Then they did Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Right. Yeah.
Which it's kind of like a 4, but now they're coming out with Borderlands 4 next year.
Now I have played Bunkers and Badasses.
That's good. That gets you some props.
Yeah, a little bit maybe.
Yeah.
But only because Gabe and Diego made me play it. But I enjoyed it.
Well, they're good boys.
Yeah. So, but that's all the news I have other than talking about a couple upcoming events for this week.
Yeah, I don't have much either. I mean, I mean, there was lots of AI stuff, but I know everybody's tired of me talking about AI and about how the new thing coming out for AI. I'll just let you guys know, and it's the big talk, and it started with Claude 3.5, the new release that they've done, but it's all agentic AI is the new buzzword. Basically, it is what we were finally offered, which is having agents. All right. Having an AI agent that you can say, go book me tickets, and it will go online and book you tickets.
Like a personal assistant kind of thing.
Right. And like one guy I was hearing, he was talking about like one thing that he has done with the agent thing was tell it, all right, now, I've done my podcast. All right. Listen to, here's the transcript to it. Go over this transcript. All right. Now, after that, this agent go and develop me, like 10 different possible artworks. Let me choose from them. This agent, I want you to go on to YouTube, find similar podcasts, and then based on their popularity, find out what the catchwords that they're using in their titles are, and give me a spreadsheet of what their titles are and how they're being used that are similar to what I'm doing. And that way I can pick through them and tailor the title of my video using words that are the most popular words for these type of videos on YouTube right now. And, you can set up agents to do things like that, stuff that you could do yourself, but it would just take time.
And it seems like a reasonable use of it, without it getting too invasive.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about, and I'm not going to get an AI discussion, but we were talking about AI earlier this week, and one of the weird conversations came up is how much it's destroying the cryptid community, online. Like, well, it's helping all the people that do those videos of like, look, I got 20 new Bigfoot videos, and that kind of shit. But there's just so much bad AI out there, and some of it, there's some really good AI out there, to where now all of a sudden we're getting much better pictures of fucking cryptids and stuff. To where the cryptid community that's like hardcore into it's starting to go, fuck the new info. Like, just people are just getting frustrated. So, but anyhow,
that's okay. We've hit an hour, and I'm going to have to do another filament swap here.
Yeah, I'm going to go over a couple upcoming events real quick.
All right, take your time on it.
We're local to us here in the Wichita, Kansas area. This coming weekend, we have the Sister Festival for Great Plains Ren Fair coming up. It is the Oklahoma City Renaissance Festival. The Wags will be there this weekend performing, and for the first time, we're taking the pirate ship down there. It's hit a number of festivals this year, which is kind of nice. Restructuring it really helped. So it's a 2-day festival, October 9th and 10th in Oklahoma City at the fairgrounds. We are sharing a stage with the bilge pumps there. So come down, check it out. It's a good, fun fair. Hopefully this year we're going to be setting the groundwork to be starting a smoker up there here soon. The following weekend in Wichita, Kansas is our premier Comic-Con. The first Comic-Con we had here in the Wichita area, which is Air Capital Comic-Con. It is the 16th and 17th of November. The WAGs will be visiting in and out, but I'm going to be there. I'll probably be doing some MC stuff like I normally do for them, and our Ghostbuster group will be there. The Wheat State Ghostbusters doing stuff. Then following that, December 6th and 7th and 8th is TsunamiCon, our gaming convention locally here, which I think this is the 11th year, if I remember right. We're going to be there. Mikey Mason will be there emceeing. And I believe, I don't know if it's set in stone yet, Clearly Guilty, who you may have seen at Ren Fair, they played at Dragon Con this year. They're going to be there performing. And that is pretty much what we have locally for the rest of this year. The next big event we have after that will be March 15th, 16th, will be the Kansas Comic-Con that is happening at Century 2, and of course followed by the Ren Fair and all the things, because once March hits in the Wichita area, we get our whole spring run of cons, and it hits hard and quick. But,
yeah.
So December 6th, or 6th, 7th, and 8th for TsunamiCon, October 16th, 17th for Air Capital Con, or November 16th, 17th for Air Capital Con, and November 9th and 10th for Oklahoma City Ren Fair. So, and go get your filament. I'm so jealous that you're running your printers right now, and I don't have shit going.
That's
and
okay.
Berto, if you're still on here, if not, I'm going to text you and ask you. I'm wanting to know about the Warhammer gods there that you're talking about, the God of Malice and stuff. Were those playable, or were they in the lore? Because that's going to make a big difference as to where I might remember them from. Because not everything that was in the lore is playable, of course. So, but having that said, that's what I got for this week.
Yeah, we didn't have much, but we stretched not much to an hour.
And it's been tough lately because this is the fall season. Oh, he said playable. Well, I'm definitely looking that up. Too bad Cookie's not here because that would be his jam. He'd be all talking it. It has been rough doing the spring run and then especially fall run, because even talking to Frankie today on the phone, he says, I haven't been at my own house for the weekend since what are we in November? So he said since early September. He hasn't been in his own house on a weekend because we're just always doing a show or something. So once we can get calmed down from doing shows, hopefully we'll get back into the swing of being able to have themed episodes and stuff.
Very good.
But having that said, hugs and
kisses.
All right.
Love you, peoples. Bye-byes.
See, now we can turn off Talk Politics. Let's go.